This is the Cherry Pick channel. Python tutorial videos. If we look at any form on the websites, we can see that they are requesting data. This information is then stored and processed. In Python, a data request is an input command. Let's create a variable name and assign it the input command. We will expect the user's name, and then greet him. To do this, type in the F line, hello and the username. Through input, we can ask the user about his name, then it will be more clear to him what is expected of him. I put a space so that the answer and question don't stick together. I can insert a line break, which will be more convenient. Remember that input is a function, and to call a function, you need to put parentheses at the end. If I just write input without parentheses, then a direct assignment will occur and name will become equal to the input function. I will be able to call name as well as the input function. But we don't need the same functions, so let name store the result of calling the input function. Everything you get through the input function has a string type by default. The numbers passed in this way will have a string type, and if we use this data in addition, we will get an error. Python does not allow adding strings with numbers. And when multiplying, we get a duplicated string. The solution is to take the result and pass it to the int function, which converts the string to a number. But you can write this operation even shorter. I'll do it right away in the input line. To do this, I can sort of wrap the input function in parentheses and say, everything you get there, turn it into an integer. And now my variable will be of type integer. If I pass a string, Python will report an error when the string is converted to an integer. A string cannot be converted to an integer. Also, if you pass a real number, you will also get an error. If you remember our last lesson, there we passed a fractional number to integer and it easily converted it to an integer. And now we are passing a string where there is a number and other characters, such as a dot. Python tries to convert a point to a number and fails. So he swears and gives an error. If you need to pass integers and real numbers, then you can write float and then all the numbers will be converted to the float type. Let's create a simple program that will receive data and output the result. Let's say we decided to create a program that helps builders calculate how much paint they need to paint the walls in a room. To do this, we need to ask the width of the wall. We will query in meters and accept integers and real numbers. The height that is going to be painted over. We could make a program that asks the type of paint and the type of walls itself and gives the result. But today we will work with experienced builders who themselves know the paint consumption per 1 square meter. We will ask them about it and write calculations. Our first useful program works. Note that we can't pass all three values at once yet. Neither separated by a space, nor separated by a comma. There is another entry for this. I will comment out my previous entry. To do this, stand on a line or select the text that you want to comment out and hold down Ctrl and slash. A grid sign will appear before the line, and everything written after such a sign will not be executed by the program. Or I can write a comment to my line. To accept all three values, I write variables on the left side, which take turns getting values from the right side. And on the right, I use the map function built into Python. We'll talk about it in more detail in the next lessons. Then I will pass it a comma-separated float and call the input function. And I will also apply a method called split to the input function. Now I can pass my values separated by a space in a single line. The float type does not always give a beautiful result. In our problem, it would be appropriate to get an integer rounded to a larger value. Let's import the math library and use the SILE method. Now our result looks better. You can enter data using any separator that you need to specify in the split method. Spaces will be discarded and the program reads the data that we have separated with a hyphen. Let's create another small program that will show us how to compose different data and insert them in the right places of our output. We will ask the user for their name. This is the string type. And his age. With age, we will perform a mathematical operation, so we convert the age to an integer type. And we can tell you the good news. Here I'll leave you feeling nostalgic. Please like and I'll be waiting for you in the next lesson.